All right, today we're talking about something that's poised to completely redefine how we work with AI. I'm talking about GPT-5. And look, this isn't just another small update. The research points to a massive leap forward, a shift that takes artificial intelligence from being just a simple tool to becoming something much, much more. A true collaborator. So we've all gotten pretty used to AI, right? It's a handy assistant. You ask it a question, you get an answer. You tell it to write some code, it spits out some code. It's powerful, for sure. But that whole interaction, it's very transactional, one and done. So the real question is, what's next? What's the breakthrough that truly changes the game? Well, here's the answer. The next great leap isn't just about making the AI smarter. It's about changing the relationship itself. We're moving away from this idea of AI as a basic tool you just pick up and put down. Instead, we're stepping into the era of the AI as a persistent collaborator. Think of it like an ongoing partner that learns you, remembers what you're working on, and works with you. And GPT-5 is right at the heart of this. Okay, let's break down what that actually means. First up, we have to talk about how this new AI is breaking free from the chains of text. We're talking about a truly multimodal AI. And this is where GPT-5 starts to feel less like a chatbot and a lot more like a partner that can see and hear the world, kind of like we do. The tech behind this is called multimodal fusion. And that word fusion is so important. This isn't just, duct taping an image tool to a text tool. We're talking about one single unified brain that can natively understand and reason across text, images, and audio, all inside the same conversation. It's seamless. Let's make this super practical. Imagine you're an engineer. You could upload a photo of some new part you're designing. Then you just speak into your mic and say, "What are the standard manufacturing tolerances for this?" The AI sees the image, hears your question, puts two and two together, and gives you a perfectly integrated text answer. That whole workflow, that was impossible before. You're not jumping between 3 different apps anymore. So what's the upshot for you day to day? Well, for starters, no more context switching. You get to stay in one flow, which means you're going to finish complex tasks way faster. The answers you get are richer because the AI is pulling context from everything, the picture, the sound, not just your words. And this is the big one. It paves the way for a whole new class of voice-first assistants that can actually see and hear what's going on around you. Okay, so building on that, our second huge advancement tackles one of the biggest headaches with today's AI. It's terrible memory. GPT-5 is designed to fix this with what we're calling persistent memory. You know the drill right now. Every single chat starts from a blank slate. It's like having a conversation with someone who has short-term memory loss. You have to constantly re-explain the project, the context, who you are. It's exhausting. The future, though, is an AI that actually remembers. It keeps track of your projects, it learns your preferences, and it can hold a massive 100-page document in its head across different sessions. In practice, this is an absolute game changer. For professionals, it means you never have to re-onboard your AI partner on a project again. If you're a coder, you can debug a massive code base without the AI losing track. A writer, you can edit a long report, and the AI knows what's on page 1 when you're working on page 80. And for all of us, it just means way less repetition and far more personalized, actually helpful suggestions. Okay, so the AI can see, it can hear, and now it can remember. But what about understanding? This third point is a little more subtle, but it's just as critical. We're talking about emotional intelligence, about making the conversation feel less robotic and a lot more human. What we're seeing is that GPT-5 is being trained to pick up on what are called affective signals. Basically, it can detect the emotional tone in your writing or even in your voice. It can then adjust its own response to be more empathetic, or maybe more formal, or even more motivational, depending on what the situation calls for. And you can see how this would totally transform areas like customer support, education, or even coaching. But, and this is a really big but, giving an AI emotional intelligence comes with a ton of responsibility. The research is very clear on this point. This has to be deployed carefully. It has to be wrapped in strong safety protocols and clear ethical guardrails. We're talking about a tool that must always augment and help, not manipulate or replace. especially in really sensitive areas like mental health. And that brings us to our fourth and final capability. And honestly, this is where it all comes together. Multimodality, memory, emotional nuance, they all combine to create something completely new, the autonomous assistant. This is the big shift from an AI that just responds to you to an AI that can act for you. So check out this workflow. You don't just say, write a sentence for my pitch. You give it a high-level mission. Draft the investor pitch. The AI, acting as an agent, can then plan and execute a whole sequence of steps. It can draft the deck, sure, but then it could use other tools to run market simulations, to make the pitch stronger, tap into your calendar to schedule meetings, and even send follow-up emails. It manages the whole project. Now, this new reality is a bit of a double-edged sword. The upside is huge, right? We can delegate all this complex, busy work and free ourselves up for high-level creative thinking and judgment. But the challenge is just as big. This forces us to ask some really tough new questions about governance. Like, what are the limits? How do we keep track of what it's doing? And who's liable when an autonomous agent gets something wrong? So, when you pull these four things together, the ability to see and hear, the capacity for memory, a real grasp of emotion, and the power to act on its own, you don't just get a slightly better tool. You get a whole new paradigm for how humans and computers work together. And that brings us right back to where we started, to this central idea of the persistent collaborator. This is what it all adds up to. AI is no longer just a machine you feed prompts to. It's becoming this ongoing, integrated partner that works right alongside you, understands your projects on a deep level, and can actually take the initiative to help you get things done. And that leaves us with the single most important question as we step into this new era. As these incredibly powerful AI collaborators become a part of our daily lives, how do we build the systems and the rules to make sure this technology always enhances our own judgment and never, ever replaces it? It's a future of partnership for sure, and it's on all of us to set the terms.